Hello everyone, welcome back to That Figure Skating Show. Today we are here to address the elephant in the room and weigh in on the Kamila Valieva saga that is exploding across the Olympic Games in Beijing.
Yeah, we've been trying to keep it black and white, but Dylan and I are also figure skaters that competed internationally in this system. Dylan being an Olympian, we're frustrated by watching it as well. But Dylan, what is your initial reaction to this entire doping debacle with Kamila Valieva?
Disappointment. I'm just like, ugh, we're here again, like as if the Olympics haven't gone through enough with the pandemic and everything to get here. We're like in this again. I'm disappointed. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to see all the negativity around it, to taint this incredible skater's Olympic debut at 15 years old. I'm frustrated. How about you?
Disappointed, not surprised, frustration. My heart breaks. I've definitely shed a few tears for Kamila because I'm, frustrated with the skating culture of using these young bodies and then throwing them away for the chance to win. I'm frustrated that many people have been raising their voices about the actions of Eteri Tutberidze and Daniel Glackenhaus, which have been quite harrowing to read or listen to. I'm upset that they put her into this position. WADA letting down the athletes to trust them, who work hard to stay clean, are giving samples at 6 a.m. in their house or at school or wherever, that they kind of dropped the ball in this process after giving Russia a ban. Then I'm just kind of, trying to figure out where I give empathy and sympathy to Valieva and try and find her at fault. But every time I come back, it's just, she was a minor, and I feel like the adults in the room, in whatever capacity, have let her down, and athletes competing at the games down.
I competed till I was 33, so I wasn't exactly a spring chicken. But even later in the career, your relationship with your coach is very interesting. You really listen to what they have to say. Their opinion is so important and powerful. And not only the coaches, but the federations and the judges and everyone involved. You are, especially in a judge sport, you are hyper aware of their input and their approval and how much you need it and how much your career depends on it. And for a 15-year-old, without a real sense of self, and even if there is an awareness, the courage to be able to even speak out. And in certain coaching circumstances, that power dynamic is very powerful. I've been in it myself. I've had coaches where the situation was very intense, and it's all-consuming. And I think we need to reflect on that and what that possibly could look like for this skater and some other skaters in situations like that.
We have to keep remembering as coaches we're raising human beings, not just athletes or skaters. A lot of people are talking about whether it's fair that she's even skating when you compare situations to skaters like Jessica Kellelang of the United States, who was found with a banned substance in her system that came from her makeup but still got banned. Carolina Kostner, whose partner at the time had a doping problem in terms of evading tests. She was banned. And people are even comparing this to the case of Sha'Carri Richardson, who lost an entire Olympics because of a positive test for a banned substance. Why is she able to skate and these people not being able to compete in their event?
Well, and I think that's a very interesting point, because if we're going to take off the opinion hat for a moment and look at this in a legal standpoint, obviously there are aspects of the legal proceedings that we don't understand. And a lot of the investigation is still ongoing. If you put yourself in the position of the Court of Arbitration for Sport, one component of it that I do kind of sympathize with, if she deserves due process, and they kick her out prematurely, they can't bring her back. That's it. But if they let her skate because they don't have enough information to completely ban her, they can still strip her. And yes, that is so unfair to the other athletes. But imagine if she's wrongfully accused. Imagine there is a witch hunt and everyone goes bananas because they're sick and tired of things that have been happening in sport in general with Russian athletes and all of these things. And there is an explanation. That has to be taken into account on some level. And even if the probability is very low, we have to be able to remove human emotion and go, okay, what is feasibly possible here? Do we have everything necessary to be able to make a clean black and white decision and have as little collateral damage as possible? I think it's almost an impossible task, but I mean, I also feel for those people.
And I think just you have to have better mechanisms to protect children, protect these minors.
We have to do better.
Yeah.
We just have to do better. If minors should be allowed to compete, they should be protected. But like
the onus should be put on the adults because
it just has to be done better.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So given all this, in your opinion, what do you think this will do to the integrity of the sport and the Olympic movement?
Figure skating is going through some upheavals and some growing pains, and I think before we jump to full conclusions, we do need to see the end of this, but it is also an opportunity for us to revisit a lot of the culture around figure skating, a lot of the things that are allowed to happen. You know, myself, I competed at the Sochi Winter Games, which was during the big upheaval of the Russian state-sponsored doping program with the documentary Icarus and everything coming out. And those results all affected me. And so as an athlete, you want to know that this ideal that you're dedicating your entire life to is upheld, because otherwise, what's the point? But on the flip side, I think it's also really important to stay connected to doing it for yourself. So there is, but the Olympic Games is about a movement, it's about fairness, it's about the best in sport under fair rules. And I really hope this doesn't taint figure skating. But I do think it shows that we have a lot of growing to do. And the culture of sport, the culture of figure skating around winning at all costs, around these children are expendable and, you know, do whatever it takes to make them win. Like, we're human beings first. That's the way I see it. That it all comes down to the fact that we need to build people, we need to build community, and we need to build from a loving place and make better decisions from that place too.
One thing that, I don't know why this comes to my mind, is that doping happens in sport and it depends on how we deal with it. There is no justice without accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is what has to happen here. There has to be accountability, and accountability that is actually concrete, has teeth, and will actually create and affect change at a systemic level. I think that until we actually hold those accountable for doing these things consistently and in the public view, I think we'll always have an asterisk next to our sport. And yeah, you know, as a former athlete, I would be absolutely so upset right now if I had been working so hard to do things clean. Talking to Caitlin yesterday, we were talking about how stressed out we were, even if we knew we didn't do anything wrong. And to see this happening, I think the initial response is to be completely angry, and it's very valid. But as you say, we have to let everything kind of play out. But of course, the faith within the system is completely, if not completely, gone for many athletes and spectators watching.
Hey guys, it's Asher and Dylan from That Figure Skating Show.
And if you liked this video, and don't lie, we know you did, there's actually more where that came from.
So subscribe to CBC Sports and click it.
Click it real good.